One of the things that I've learned in the journey, Brett, is that it is so much easier to run a successful business when you've got recurrent revenue. And in the early days, it was not recurrent. We had some in research, there's probably two types of projects. There's ad hoc and tracking. And your ad hoc project is client comes to you and says, hey, we've got a business problem in the way that I described it before. What can you tell us about, using research, qualitative or quantitative, come back to us with an answer to that problem and a set of recommendations on how to solve it. So those projects are commissioned, you get paid for it, you do the study, you deliver the outcomes, and then you wait for the next one to come along. So that's non-recurrent revenue. On the other hand, you might have a client come to you and say, we want to track what people think about product, or we want to tell you what's happening in market, and that generates continuous recurrent billing revenue. So when we started the company, I would suggest probably 70% of the revenue was non-recurrent and maybe 30% was recurrent. We had a couple of really good client opportunities at the outset that were recurrent, that generated cash flow and allowed us to invest in the business, get people salaries, employees that we had confidence would be able to maintain that position. So that 30% was disproportionately important. On the other hand, the ad hoc research allows you to get that intimacy with a client because they're constantly asking you to answer questions about their business that help you maintain your relevance and sort of knowledge base. There's a certain stage you're at where you can only do a limited number of things at the same time, whether it's yourself or a small group of people. And if you're doing projects, you can't sell and market yourself. You can't be calling your clients and maintaining those relationships very effectively. So living hand to mouth, so to speak, from one project to the next can become quite a difficult thing. And in some ways, I think contradicts the reason, as I outlined before, a lot of people go into business for themselves because you end up not really achieving that type of freedom because you're constantly worrying about your next figures. I fundamentally agree that the opportunity to create subscription services for B2B organizations is really important.